So this video is just going to be on X crosses because a lot of people underestimate the chances of actually it cropping up and there being a good opportunity. Other times it's simply better to ignore the opportunity for an X cross and go for a normal cross. So this pattern with the pair here, it's actually quite nice. Not even to create it on red as you'd expect, or blue, because this would be a pair for blue, but go for yellow because of this block here on the edge like this, and you get this pattern with that towel you showed with the edge here, and this is quite nice because you just get a square in one move, albeit your edge gets kicked out, but you can do stuff here with, that's nice. Obviously if you get a square then that's what you're aiming for, and you can obviously make an X cross here. The only thing is that you can create squares on bottom as well, which people don't see as often now. And when you create a square, you have to look for how your edges are affected when you create the square first. So if they end up bad, which is quite often the case, then it's sometimes just better to go for this normal cross. Like this, there's no point because your edge is just so awful here, and so I'd just go for normal cross. And what happened to my edge there? Yeah, it just mucks up your cross, and then keyhole your edge in at a later date, or later during the solve. I mean, this just scramble. There's some, well, obviously you can pseudo slot, but that's difficult for beginners to understand. With the best person to look at for that, obviously Timon Kolsinki, who does this all the time. I'm not going to go into too much detail with that because that's really quite advanced. It's this idea of, let me just create something here where you have the D layer misaligned and a pair where these two can go in, but they're not necessarily a pair like this. And it's just really hard to spot, and this is just, I do sometimes use it, but it's not really worth it at the lower level, like sub 20. Until you're looking at world record stuff, it isn't that good, because it's just improbable that you actually spot stuff like that. Obviously Timon can do it because he's had so much experience, but it's just really hard. So if you don't see an easy way to get a square, then just go for the normal cross is my biggest advice. So you've got square on bottom, the free pair, which you just want to preserve. Did I show an example of that? I'm not sure I did, but if you get a cross and then it's sometimes better just to preserve the pair and preserve a pair like this. Just preserve it during the solve and then go for this kind of stuff, where you just insert it straight afterwards and know that this is coming up. Because often it just flows better into your solve. So that's your options, and I'll see you in the next video.